Hey everyone, and welcome to next episode of Destiny of the Force. Our heroes are having small adventures on the world of Takodana, learning about the past, present, and future from relics, treasure hunters, and more, as we're also getting small previews on other places of things that are coming in the future. And with that, we will start not on Takodana, but the world of Tython, deep, deep in the core of the galaxy, where a dark starship has just recently landed, and the black cloaked and armored figure of the Revenant, just barely detailed with silver and red markings, approaches a decrepit but still functional temple. The red-haired and black-suited Kari following behind him. As the two of them march into the temple, in the center chamber that they enter into, a feminine Keldor meditates in the middle. On either side of the Keldor, a white, almost orb of energy on one side and a grayish, blackish orb on the other. And as the Revenant and Kari enter in, the calm orbs begin to pulse and shake, as if mirroring the conflict of the people coming in. Near this feminine Keldor figure is a tealish colored Nautilin with black markings all over her face, meditating close by as well, dressed in grays and whites. The Keldor leaves her meditative stance and begins to stand as the Revenant approaches and bows before her, getting on one knee. Kari follows suit. The Nautilin stops her meditation, but just kind of watches. She seems to be young, probably about the same age as Kari, and the Keldor moves forward. Her name, Odara. And the Revenant tilts his head forward. Mistress Zhao, I have failed. I was unable to obtain the gauntlet for the girl. That is a shame. Mistress Odara Zhao kind of says as she walks around Revenant. With them both out there, the galaxy is still at great risk. The balance we help keep threatened. I sense conflict. You both. As she's looking at Kari, he says, you do not wish to continue this hunt, this chase. Looking back to Revenant. You wish for other things. Your mind wanders. And your thoughts are less and less with the girl and more with Skywalker. Would allow his words to corrupt you. Face enough challenges. Your own choices. I keep my clarity, Mr. Shaw. I need time before I can continue my pursuit. So you can use this clarity and your frivolity. And he falls silent, and he just says, I will grant your opportunity to reach this clarity. Then you must find the girl. The visions that we share are too strong. You do not. Dark side will rise. She lifts her arms, the white and black orbs crackle with lightning and rise up with her, and the black orb seems to grow stronger more quickly and lashes out at the white orb before. We fade from the scene and return to the roguish forest world of Takadana, where our heroes are on various levels of the main castle. We come in on the other floor, the upper floor, apologies, and to a sabacc game where the gorgeous Celtron, Irisia Delac, pirate, and contact of Soul Skywalker is in a tense game with Vitania Vonis, a rather strong-looking mercenary woman. A break is currently being had for discussion and drinks, Iris having won the last round. Vitania is currently speaking to associates of hers, while Iris is taking this moment to stretch and speak with Soul, who arrived just in time to give her some luck. Soul, she's pulled you off a bit so you have vocal privacy, but obviously people can see you still. As mentioned, she's dressed in the dark, fairly form-fitting clothes. This is probably the most revealing you've ever seen her. She's usually a bit more covered than this, but you can tell it's due to the tropical nature of the planet, most likely.
So it seems things are going well. As he looks over at her side of the winnings.
Well, I'm certainly making a profit so far, but I cannot claim victory yet. You've certainly improved the science. And she's about as close as she can be to you without actually, like, her body physically touching yours.
And Soul's just gonna say, you don't strike me as just wanting credits, so what's your angle in this game? Like, who is this that you're playing?
Vitania is, well, a rival, let's say. Come on, Soul. A girl has to have some privacy.
So it's a reputation play.
Perhaps.
With some credits on top.
He just grins to that. Can always use more of those. So what brings you to my place?
Oh, you know me, sticking my head where it doesn't belong and trying to save the galaxy. As he like takes a sip of his drink.
So, you weren't looking for me?
One opportunity does not exclude the other.
For a moment, I didn't think you cared.
I've made sure to keep in contact over the time. Obviously, I care.
Hollows are not... And she'll, at this point, reach her hand up to your cheek and say, hollows are not flesh.
Yeah, things have been hectic.
I don't think I've ever seen you alone before.
My friends are never too far behind. Especially my new friend. He's quite... I would say he probably demands a lot of attention when he enters a room, almost as much as you. But almost.
Oh. Sounds interesting.
Very much so.
She would be kind of leaning in and pulling herself up to you a little bit. Well, not much up, more of like closer. With her heels, she's probably about the same height as you. And she's getting close enough to kiss if you're interested, but she's not currently moving in to kiss you, just closing that distance pretty tightly.
Soul gets as close to where their lips are barely meeting and just says, is a such thing as too much luck. And sort of pulls back like just like a half an inch.
And you see her kind of thrust her chest out like, if you're gonna tease, I'm gonna tease too, before pulling back just a little bit further as well.
Out loud, Soul just sort of says, and so the dance begins. Just to be like really sappy.
She rolls her eyes ever so slightly and says, "Oh, I'd be making you dance if I didn't have this game to finish."
Then let us win this game so we can retire to less crowded area.
Is that a promise?
A Jedi never lies.
Then I best win quickly. You see her begin to walk back toward the game table as Darren, Grumblock, Castum, and Zura would reach this level.
Soul would obviously follow behind her since he's her good luck charm.
Yeah, so Grumblock, Darren would point out the game table where Vitania's taking a seat, and you would also, of course, all of you would see Iris and Soul heading toward that same table.
Darren, enter the game. Challenge this Vitania for knowledge if you win.
That's well, first of all, that's Soul. He points at Soul, like, who's going to stand next to Iris as she's clearly playing.
He will not mind a little competition.
And then you see him saying, "That's this," and he's just like, "Wait, are you fronting the credits?" He's just like, "I'm not winning this."
Darren, you have very expensive crystals in your belongings. I'm sure an appraiser will tell you they are worth many thousands of credits.
Like, he's like, "Oh man, oh." You see him slowly heading over toward the table. Soul, at this point, you would finally kind of see them all approaching.
Soul definitely seeing Grumblock just sort of leans down to Iris and whispers like, "See, interesting."
She kind of looks a little surprised before nodding.
Yeah, Zer's just kind of look up at Grumblock. I feel like this is a little cruel.
Nonsense. Darren is a good friend of mine. I would never do anything that would be harmful to him.
And Zer's just kind of look over that card table between. There's two very intimidating women. Uh-huh.
I have faith that he will succeed and come out with more credits than he went in.
For reference, how many card games have you played over? How old are you?
I am 400 years old. And some.
And the number of card games you've won is...
Who can count how many card games I've won or lost?
Mm-hmm.
Who can count indeed? So as Darren invites himself into the game, both Iris and Vitania look a little perplexed, but they allow him to join.
I will. I'll stand behind Darren and place a hand on his shoulder. I'll say, "I am this man's good luck charm."
Soul, seeing this as a challenge, puts his hand on Iris' shoulder and stares at Grumblock.
I'll stare back.
Weirdest challenge ever.
Is that a coercion check, Grumblock?
I mean, I could make it a coercion check.
Yeah. I'll only let you only have to roll it if you want it to be. You don't need it to be. You don't need to.
No, because he's not trying to be menacing. He's just trying to. Yeah, he's just making his presence known.
Okay. All right. Then yep. So group will start playing their game as the rest of you watch on. And with that, we'll go down one level to the to Chance and the others, and he looks to you all and says, "So, how long are you going to be on Takadana for?"
We're not sure yet. I guess that depends on how negotiations go. I want to say.
What kind of negotiations?
Just formal stuff, possibly with the Empire sort of thing. It's kind of... It's going to be a little difficult to say, really, with the group as split up as we currently are. So, until I hear otherwise, I imagine we're going to be sticking around.
Just nods to you and says, "All right, well, you'll stay here as part of my party. We have a few suites in the upper levels you can make use of, and activities throughout the castle and the area, and plenty of and he gives you a half smile, plenty of mischief to get into."
You know us too well.
Apparently the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, does it?
With that, he'll stand up and look to the others and say, "Phoenix, you wanna try that out with real credits?" And he and Gam were kind of stopped talking to each other and kind of look for him. I was like, "Yeah, sure." And Gam shrugs and is like, "Yeah, yeah." So you see him say, "We're gonna." Chance kind of looks to Rusty and says, "We're gonna head upstairs for some cards. You play?" He's looking to Talia and Sid.
Oh, I have a horrible bluffing face. I'm not fond of losing my credits.
I'm in.
And you see Gideon kind of nods and says, "Yes, what a wonderful idea." And he Sidani, Gideon kind of offers you his arm, like he'll lead you up there, as if he's kind of shifting this from you guys are sort of exploring around to sort of acting like you're supposed to be there. Do you take it?
How does Saf react when he does that?
She seems to pick up on what he's trying to do, and you also get the impression that she might be about to do that for a chance.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, then yeah.
Like it might be like they both, like Gideon may have picked up on that might be something done here.
Makes sense. So yeah, she will.
So yeah, as Gideon kind of takes your arm, you see Safra kind of takes both Chance's arm and Phoenix's, and Gam and Phoenix honestly kind of keep talking as you all begin to go upstairs. Well, well, you're all managing to stick together, which is highly unusual.
Some of us are managing that. Has Fanada returned yet or given any signal?
No, she has not.
All right. Well,
So as you all head upstairs, we will cut away at this moment to the Jade Shadow, where R2 is currently in the main computers area, trying to get wires and cables hooked up into the broken golden body of what can be presumed to have formerly been C-3PO from decades ago. And as these cables are being connected, a loud noise is heard, and R2 stops, tilts his head for a moment, and kind of leans backward, looking into the doorway, and you can tell that the full back of the ship's been opened. And R2 lets out a beep of confusion and begins rolling down the hallway toward the back part of the Jade Shadow. There, the X-Wing, the black and orange X-Wing that sits in the back of the Jade Shadow, seems to be getting primed to launch. R2 beeps and whirs really loudly, and with just a hint of confusion, as R2 wonders why and how someone could have overridden his locks without him noticing. And as soon as he gets to the system, he realizes that the locks weren't overridden, they were just turned off by someone who has the access. And just before the X-Wing launches out of the ship's small hangar station, he catches R8 / Scorch in the astromech point, and just the faintest glimpse through the glass of what appears to be Rey launching the X-Wing out of the Jade Shadow and flying up into the air, and R2 just whirs very quietly, knowing that this was probably not planned. R2 races down the ship very quickly, trying to relock everything. And we return to upstairs. As everyone gathers around at this table, a few minutes have passed, and basically everyone on this floor right now is gathered around the sabacc table because we have on one side Iris, on the other side Vitania, and across from them we have Darren, and across from him we have Chance and Phoenix. So this what was a 2-person game has turned into 5. As all the PCs are watching the various people they know and one that they don't play a fairly high stakes sabacc game. Does Sidani join in for a 6th seat to complete the group?
What's the entry bid?
Chance is gonna cover you.
Sure.
You're his guest, so you can play on, because Phoenix is playing on him too. That's why they're sitting
yes.
there. That's why you would be sitting on the other side of Chance, basically. Because he's covering both of you if you're playing.
I'm in.
Gareth, Darren is definitely getting more nervous as the table gets more crowded. So okay. So Sidani, go ahead and prepare your cool dice pool, and of course add a force die for the ever-changing nature of sabacc. You alternatively, instead of cool, can go for cheating if you so desire, but
I will use intense focus to upgrade it once.
But you will be using cool. And do not roll yet. I'm just wanting you to get your positive dice set.
Set.
Okay. And yeah. Also, you guys can be like talking and chattering in the background. You're literally all there. So you'll be talking to each other.
I'm kind of waiting to see how the first hand goes.
Oh, same.
Well, that's the first hand's gonna take a minute to play out because I have to roll all the NPCs. So you guys can kind of start talking as everyone's getting set up. Sidani, for difficulty, you'll be rolling against 3 red, but don't roll yet.
Okay.
So will be
Soul's just gonna like whisper to Iris and like pay attention to that whole side of the table's hands. As he looks at all the people that sat down, including Seth.
If only nobody's fool actually worked on cool.
Ooh. A good start on that side of the table.
No, I was just about to say Darren was going to be out first, but now I don't know.
Now for Iris. Oops, forgot the difficulty and the force dice. 1 second. Oof.
Bad luck, Iris.
Iris is better than Vitania, but that's about it so far.
See, it's because they don't have a Grumblock good luck charm.
Well, they haven't rolled that yet, so
If he
wait
comes
before
out
you
on
say
top
that.
of this,
Watch him get like a triumph or something.
All right, well, here he goes. And
I knew it.
Damn.
Do I need to watch Grumblock's hands?
oh my god.
That has to be so very, very confused, Darren. It's like, what?
I
did-
imagine
As that-
Darren lets
well-
out an audible noise.
As all the cards are being dealt and the hands are being like everyone's doing things, he's just reacting to what he's getting. He's like, there's no way. He's just like, how am I getting this good of a hand?
Gets to the end, he's like, did I just win?
Well, it's not over yet though. All right, see. Now we have the modifier though puts Darren ahead. Modifier puts Darren at a 4 success, while puts Phoenix at a 1.
this is
Yep.
outstanding.
Yep.
I haven't seen Chance though yet.
Well,
Yeah.
Chance set the difficulty technically, and then
Oh.
yeah, and then all right, Sadani. I mean, not bad. Them some threat.
It's a pretty mean game, but yeah.
You are having a really hard time focusing on the game.
You're playing with literally all the big dogs.
And well, and Safra's basically draped over you and Chance's shoulder the whole time.
All the big dogs and Darren.
So do I take all of that as strain then?
No. It's part of the game rules. So.
Gotcha.
Okay, and now for Chance. 1 moment.
Wow.
So he would have won, but he despaired, which means he bombs out. So Darren won
Oh
the first hand.
my god. Oh my god.
Wow.
How?
Soul's
I
taking this
take back-
opportunity to tell Iris, be like, that's Darren Silvar who just won. He's on our team now. I was gonna introduce you afterwards.
just gonna look over at Darren's hand and I'll say, Darren, your cards add up to 23. Is this number significant?
Yes. Yeah, so as the first hand completes, you see Darren gets a majority of the winnings. However, Phoenix and Sidani would both collect some as well. Everyone else bombed out. So Chance is just sitting back, like, laughing, like he's enjoying himself. He's having a good time. Vitania seems very frustrated over on the on the one side, and Iris is just, she's not sure if she's happy about Soul knowing the guy, or if she's annoyed at still losing to him anyway. But she knows she did better than Vitania, and that's her only solace here. Oh man. So you Sidani, do you stay in for another round? Everyone else
Of
will.
course. And I'll use intense focus to upgrade it again.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll let you know any changes to your roll when I get to you in the order, okay?
Okay.
So difficulty stays the same. And but I'll let you know, like I said, when I get to you any modifiers, because some of the rolls affect your future hands. Safra's ribbons definitely are causing a distraction for you, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There's some betting going on. That's not with the credits.
Yeah, well, and it seems as part of like the whole thing, you see Iris has like, it seems to put her hand up for Soul to kiss it, and you can see like Safra lean in and she blows on Chance's cards and on yours, Sidani. And it seems to be kind of part of everything going on. Although those of you who are watching would get kind of the funny moment of Phoenix, like, because Safra's in between Sid and Chance, and you can tell she's probably in between Phoenix and Chance usually, and so Phoenix kind of looking for his help, and he just looks at Gam, and Gam's like, just shakes his head like, nah, man.
He needs Fanat to show up.
What does Grumblock kiss Darren's?
Darren, what is the appropriate gesture? Should I kiss the dice?
he just says, just be you. Just be you. And he's just like, just stand there, be good. As he tries to get ready for the next round here. Okay, so we've got Vitania going first again. That'll be...
I can't believe I'm so invested in Darren's success here.
Gotta root for the underdog.
Okay, and so it'll be... harder this time due to the threat. That was Vitania. Forgot to put the caption, but there you go. So, Vitania having a much better start this round. So she's in a good position. She does not have any failures to turn to successes, though, so she only has 2 successes. She does not have any threat, which is big, though. Okay. On to Iris. Got no losses on hers.
Ooh. That's dirty.
Huh.
Huh, indeed.
We'll get back to that one later. Let's see how everyone else does first. So, because she also so hot. So we'll see what everyone else is doing. So next we have old Darren. So he rolls in. Ah,
Oh.
couldn't keep it going. Thanks.
Interesting.
What the fuck?
Oh dear. Oh, by the way, because he got the despair, chances out of the round, so he's just watching you all, the rest of you play. By the way, Sidani. So you're the last one here. So with your immense distraction, it upgrades twice due to your lack of concentration.
I see.
So you add a red.
Okay, and per the rules of this game, do I, in order to, if I get like the white pips, would I have to spend a destiny point in order to use them, or?
No, it's just a modifier, the force die. It automatically changes based on what you get.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
it changes one success. A dark pip changes a success and advantage to failure and threat. That's why I've been saying like their results are very different than what they actually look like.
Gotcha. In that case, I'm going to flip a destiny point for this roll.
Yeah, Vitania is in a good position to win, but she didn't have any failures to flip, so like she's gonna win. Yep, so Iris and Phoenix would have had good hands, but unfortunately they both hit bad numbers and got bombed out during it. And Darren couldn't really keep up, and Sidani, you almost could, but not quite. So Vitania takes the whole thing. No splitting this time. No splitting this time. Okay. Iris is really frustrated soul and gets up and like pulls away, and Phoenix just kind of puts his hand down and shakes his head. And Chance just claps a hand on his back and laughs with him. Talia, Lux would be kind of leaning in toward you, and just laughing and saying, there's a reason I don't play anymore.
I think you're smart for that, then. Better to keep your own hands on your money.
So,
Soul looks at her and asks her, like, how bad do you want to be here? I'm feeling very lucky right now.
You can tell her, like, her frustration is high, and she just says, that privacy offer still stands. I'd rather get your luck right now.
Very well. Soul just, he's sort of like, you won this one, Grumblock? Like, as he's walking up.
Defeated again, Skywalker.
As he walks off with the beautiful Zultron. the loser, Soul. And yeah. So does Sidani stay in?
Yes.
Vitania, it's down to Vitania, Darren, and you.
Can I pack instincts assist Darren?
Gonna use tense focus and probably flip a destiny point, but I'll wait for my turn to do that.
What is your cool? Sidani?
With or without no base full?
Well, it's just your cool. What's your cool?
Baseline is 1 yellow and 2 green.
So this round while you're playing, Safra's gonna kind of put her arms on your arms and kind of lean in tight. And you can use her cool for this round, which is 4.
Ooh. 4 green or 4 yellow?
No, her ranks in cool is 4.
Ooh, okay, wow. Ooh, that's nice.
So you use that on your presence, and then you can intense focus on that.
Okay.
So I believe that takes you up to 4 yellow.
It does.
And then if you want to use the destiny point, you can, obviously. And then Zura, you were saying you wanted to help him, Darren?
Yeah, just tell him a couple things I noticed from the other players as a flavor. Just give him that 2 boost assist.
Okay. Is Grumblock assistant anyway as well, or is that just what Darren's working on?
Yeah, sure. I will assist him. I will tell him that he should try and add his cards up to 23 again, like he did in the first round.
So that's where you went wrong in the second round.
You just got those numbers mixed up.
Thought you were smart. Come on.
Bullying him. All right. So. Okay, so Anya does not have to worry about any defects this time around. Roll. Didn't get it. Right, now Daron rolls. Does have 1 setback. Oh,
He should have a 3rd blue dice, because he gets 2 from Zura and 1 from me. Oh, well, never mind.
that matched the assistance he got from what you said.
Yeah.
I forgot to put his name, but that's Darren's, and unfortunately that despair's probably gonna screw him, but we'll see. If no one else wins, he gets to win, but so it's on Sidani. So
What's the difficulty?
I believe it's 3 red and a purple this time. You only had enough for
Okay.
grade this time.
Wow, Sidani.
Why have you got to screw Darren like that?
Wow.
Read them and weep.
So yeah, read them and weep, she says. As yeah, Darren busts out, unfortunately, and then leaving just Sidani and Vitania, and as he said, Sidani succeeds, and as you win the final hand, Chance cheers and kind of claps for you, and kind of lifts you up, sort of almost in a fatherly way. You know, kind of gives you a half hug and sort of pulls you up out of the chair and making sure everyone's like seeing that you're the winner. And
Since we enjoy this.
and then Safra, as soon as the cards are out of your hand, Safra will move your arm out of the way and give you a very visible kiss. As in very visible to everyone else.
Polly's not surprised.
And,
yeah, Sid returns it, waves to the crowd, all that. She's enjoying it.
Yeah, and Darren looks up at Grumblock and says, well, thanks. And he kind of looks at the two of you and says, thanks for believing in me. But couldn't quite do it.
Just pat him on the back.
And you would also notice Vitania's getting up from the table. She's got, like, she hasn't really lost out too badly overall over the course of the game, but she just seems to be gathering her credits and seems to be kind of moving away, kind of brushing and knocking people aside as she moves out. She's over 6 feet tall, by the way. You would notice as she like gets up.
I will well, quickly I'll just say, you tried, Darren. You are no failure. And then I will grab Vitania by the shoulder and I'll say, we need to speak about Arcos Vein.
And she looks at you just kind of almost wide-eyed for a moment as you say that name, and then basically tries to vault over your arm. What is your athletics?
It would be 1 yellow, 3 green, and 3 force dice.
Okay. Those would be setbacks. She removes most of them. She doesn't quite manage to vault over your arm, even with all her strength and height. And she just tries to twist and move and what's your I guess vigilance, I guess.
My vigilance would be 1 yellow, 3 green. Are we rolling initiative?
No, it's the one-on-one style initiative we do sometimes, where it's the opposed roll. So it's she's rolling against your vigilance to see if she can land first. No.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, no, so I'm rolling against that, is what I meant.
Ah, right. Okay, fine,
Yeah.
fine.
So, you're probably still going to win it anyway, but yep. Okay, so you would notice that she's going in to kick you before she does.
I'm just going to try and cast Bind.
Okay. Roll against 2 red, 2 purple. Using discipline, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Let's use Intense Focus here and spend one of these Destiny points.
I will spend it back to make it 3 red and a purple.
Ah, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, there we go. Stay.
Stay. As you use the force to bind her, the little like just fight that broke out between you in general, as minor as it was, as that occurs, she kind of yells and grunts out, and you just see people around you start scattering and running as, you know, 2 big people just kind of had a miniature fight, and then she stopped moving very strangely. So people are a little unsure about that one. And as all that's happening, Sidani, you'd probably still be in the midst of your distraction and probably not hear it over kind of the more of the cheers coming from your side of things. Everyone else, you'd probably notice both things going on. Obviously outside of Soul, who's already left with Virus.
Zura is going to make like a, person not involved in this and just duck or hide behind something and just keep an eye out for anyone drawing their blasters.
Yeah, I think Talia gives it a second, kind of sighs really heavily, and kind of takes a couple steps forward, but she doesn't really want to get in between these 2 people because they're gonna just squish her. She'll just be like, Grumblock, there's better ways to handle this situation rather than using the force like this.
I asked her a question, and she tried to flee. Now she cannot flee. This seems like a perfect use of the Force.
Then perhaps you simply find a room and request that she talk.
Will you talk, or will you try to run again?
Fine, I'll talk.
I will release the bind.
Yeah, as she drops, towering over Talia and obviously not making a dent in Grumblock's height, but her muscles just flex and she kind of rolls her shoulders back. She's wearing kind of a sleeveless, to show off her muscular strength, kind of sleeveless jacket over kind of black shirt top and kind of dark brown kind of pants. Very, very much kind of the usual sort of kind of smuggler outer rim style outfit. She seems upset but does not run away. The crowd kind of seems to calm down. Some people are very kind of chattery and curious because of the the bind usage, but no one's moving in.
Let us find somewhere away from prying eyes where we may discuss what we need to discuss.
And yeah, she kind of grunts and flips her hair slightly and nods off toward kind of a dug-in set of booths that seem to be the most private place you can get without having like a private room.
Okay. Talia, you seem to think there is a different option to obtain this information. Perhaps you would assist me.
Of course, Grimlock. And she'll just kind of
Talk to her.
Yep, wave to the rest of the table and follow after.
So as you all are moving, we'll go over to Soul, who has found one of those private rooms. It's relatively small, but decently furnished. Kind of set up, Soul, in your experience, sort of a hotel-like room, but has kind of kind of on the more simplistic side. You can already gather just from how she's acting and the way things are sort of happening around you that Iris is probably here alone, that her crew probably is off doing something else, or at least somewhere else, if they're even on the planet. The room definitely gives off that indication that she's here alone. And yeah, as soon as you're in the room, she would very quickly take off her jacket. Fall to the ground.
Soul's just gonna sort of like, he just sort of says to himself like, well, I'm known for making bad choices, and then just moves in to like kiss her.
As it's very clear she's about to loosen other garments she's wearing, she'll move in for a very full kiss and physical movement. Does Soul kind of continue on this path, or is there anything else he wants to say or do? Before,
No, I feel like everything's Baconia. This will talk about. We'll have conversation after. I think we
All
can
right.
cut to the others.
We'll get back to this in a bit. Okay. So yeah, as the others are going off and Soul is having his time, Sidani, as Safra's whispering in your ear about a possible time, your comm goes off.
All right. 1 second. Sid will try to step a little bit away from the crowd, so she can hear the comm and, so no one else will overhear in case. Yeah.
It's
Yes.
you quickly recognize that it's Venata.
I expected as much.
Sid, you can tell her voice is a little strained.
Is everything all right? Should I come to the ship?
Queen, the Hapen Queen Mother is requesting that I return to Hapes as soon as it is possible. It has been determined by our council that due to recent apparently while we were gone, there were health concerns that vested, and they wish for me to assist in her duties.
We'll head back as soon as possible.
I didn't have very long to speak because they needed to get back to her, but I did get the authorization for the others. And you need to go to Bastion. We just need to go to Hapes on the way, and then you go meet with them.
Alright, it's gonna be alright. Okay?
We're not close, but for most of my life, she was still my mother.
I know. We'll get you back to Hapes as soon as possible.
I'm sorry. I thought we would have longer for me to help you.
You have nothing to be sorry for.
Have to represent both of us. We'll talk later.
Well, since time is of the essence, I can head back now, and we'll try to get everyone else to the ship in an hour or two. If that's too long, they do have a ship of their own, if you want to set out earlier.
This says no. We just need to leave before tomorrow. Tell Phoenix I'm sorry.
Well, part of me wants to tell you to come in here and tell him yourself. You may not see him for a while.
I know. I'd rather hurt myself anymore.
But so long as you don't regret that decision. Well, if that's how you feel, then sticking around probably won't be the best. I'll tell the others to meet us on Apes with the Jade Shadow, and we can get going.
No, they need to go to Bastion. What they were talking about, that's too important.
All right, Then they'll go to Bastion, and I will meet up with them.
Just, Sidani, this is my responsibility. In this case, you're my pilot. Just enjoy yourself and leave later.
And that you sit around here and mope? I'm not going to do that. So I'll be right out.
She ends the comm at that point. And Gideon approaches you and says, "Is everything all right?"
No, it's not. Diplomatic authorization was granted for Bastion. Could you tell everyone else to meet me at Bastion? I'm going to. Me and Vina are going to head back to Hapes. I'm going to drop her off.
Drop her off.
Things have developed.
Will she not be accompanying us?
Doesn't seem like it.
Then I should go with you. If you are going to meet the Empire, you will need much more preparation.
All right, then. Grab his stuff. For our sake, probably won't be staying around too much longer.
Okay. You see him kind of nod and he appears to be beginning to pull out some information to begin in what appears to you to be studying like probably Imperial or like a refresher on that kind of stuff. That's what it seems like anyway as he does that. Do you go to speak with
Stuff and Chance? Yeah.
So you would see Chance talking to Phoenix and Gam and Saf looks very bored. And sitting on she's sitting on a table, feet kind of kicking back and forth as she sees you approaching.
Hey, Saf.
She just kind of says, "Hey."
A bit of bad news. Afraid not going to be able to stick around.
She looks a little confused.
Princess duties, essentially.
Oh, do you want me to tell? And she kind of looks over to the guys as they're talking. It's like, do you want me to tell them or?
I'll do that. If you could tell the others to meet us at Bastion, that would be wonderful. Well, meet me at Bastion.
And she just nods to that and leans backward, like almost like she wanted to have a close moment and then almost defensively pulled herself back.
Yeah, a lot of that seeming to go around. It was good seeing you again. Sid kind of tucks a lock of hair behind an ear.
We'll meet again.
Sid smiles. I hope so. And we'll move over to Calrissian.
So Chance turns, and Phoenix and Gam seem to be still laughing about a joke, but don't say. They quiet up when they see you. Like, come over.
I'm afraid I won't be staying quite as long as I thought. Something's come up. I wanted to say thank you for your hospitality.
Yeah, and he looks concerned. Yeah, of course. What happened?
Happen business. So me and my sister are going to head out early. Sorry you didn't get to meet her any.
Well, I'm sure I'll be able to meet you both again, right? He kind of looks
Right.
a little concerned still for you.
Right, and Sid's eyes will kind of glance toward the Phoenix and back to Calrissian. As I said, thank you for your hospitality. The others will be staying a little bit longer, I'm sure.
Yeah, and he just says, yeah, I'll be. Wanted to make sure to see Soul before he left. And he puts a hand on your shoulder and kind of seems to offer you a hug.
Sid takes it. It was good meeting a family friend, and take care of my winnings for me until I get a chance to claim them.
Sometime when things calm down a bit with Maximus, you can come out to my estate and pick something nice for yourself.
I'd love that.
And as he pulls away a little bit, he says, and I'm not a family friend. I'm family. Come on. And he kind of gives you one last kind of squeezing hug.
It's returned.
You'll be okay, kid.
Thanks. All right. With that, Sid will grab her things. She didn't have too much, and motion for Gideon to follow her to the ship.
Okay. We'll go back over to Grumblock and Talia as they get Vitania sat down into the booth. Zura and Customize watching from distance.
Yep.
Darren, by the way, is just he's off getting a long drink after the game. So yeah, so Grumblock and Talia, how do you approach this?
Talia would let Grumblock start since he actually knows the entire situation with Arcos.
Okay. I am looking for information on a man named Arcos Vane. We encountered him on the world of Aphis when he was searching for an artifact of power. A gauntlet. You clearly know something of the man, because when I mentioned his name, you tried to flee. Now, I have no desire to harm you. I am simply asking for what you know.
She kind of leans back and her muscles flex a little bit in her arms and sides and says, I was hired by this Vane to find out about artifacts, like you said. And that's all she gives you. Like, just as
That's all she said. Like, I was hired to find out about artifacts. Okay. Please elaborate. Tell me what artifacts and where you encountered Mr. Vane.
contacted by Hollow. I happened to be the one around. Don't know much about the artifacts. He was asking about specific ones. Knew what he was looking for. This one on Aethys I told him about. It was old Sith gauntlet. Had a bit of a bit of history around here. Was known to be Sith Lord's plaything, but I don't know much else. I'm not really an expert in the Force, and he didn't really elaborate. I asked around about it, found out it was on that junker, and he followed. Guess he found it.
Did he ask about any other artifacts?
Said he might contact me about more.
Did he ever give any inclination as to what he wanted with them?
Assume he's either a collector or a addict. Sometimes it's hard to tell.
He is a tyrant looking to conquer the galaxy.
You get an expression of amusement like she doesn't much care.
Did he leave a method of contact?
Nope.
How were you paid?
Simple delivery of credits here. And she pats the some of the chips that she was using to gamble that she set on the table. Gave me some to have fun with.
Is there anyone that might know more of this artifact? Who did you ask for information?
Oh, just the vault keepers on the lower levels. They tend to deal more with the scarier things, you know. Just asked around. Hard to really... Can't really give you a name.
When he contacted you, was he alone?
I heard some laughter in the background, feminine. That's about it. Is that enough for you?
Talia looks to Grimlock.
I mean, she's technically been very helpful, but she's giving all of this up quite easily.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't make sense to me. Like,
I mean, it's not like you can have her do a deception check or anything.
yeah, it's not that I think she's lying though. I think she's just being vague. Deliberately vague. That's not the same as lying, is it?
I mean, you could have her do one to determine if there's more to what she's saying, I suppose, or if that really just seems like it's it.
Yeah. Yeah. If she could make a check to try and determine, I know there's stuff she hasn't told me. Which of the statements seemed like it was the least she told me about? If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Give me some which discipline for her to roll against?
Yeah, it'll be 4 red.
She will use her second chances ability to the 2 yellows with advantages and the 1 green. Not high enough, but pretty darn close. I'd say she is not lying to you about anything she's telling you about, but you can't really indicate if there's anything more to learn. She did too well on the advantages front.
Okay. I'm going to just try and appeal to her sense of goodness. It's a long shot, but
Mhm.
It's a very long shot.
Here we go.
Three red and 3 setback.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure you have a better chance of hitting a fly on another planet.
let's use intense focus and a destiny point.
Go ahead and add a purple. Flipped
And you should
setback.
3 setback.
Yes.
Okay.
3 red, a purple, 3 setback.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just say, I know you may think that you don't care, that you are separate from this, but I implore you, if there is any hint of good, or of moral, or of justice in your heart, you will tell me what I need to know.
Uh-huh.
Fuck.
Huh.
I mean, I succeed with if I use those light sights, you know?
You know. Oh. So what are we saying? It's 1
Make it
success, 1
3.
threat.
I'll have more. Would more successes do anything?
It's one more. I think the better question would be, would more threat be a problem?
Yeah, okay, do 1 success and 1 threat then.
1
And I will
success,
just
1
suppress.
threat, triumph and despair.
Yep.
He definitely seems unhappy with the whole appeal, but you see her kind of flip her credits over and over for a moment. He looks at Talia, looks at you. He's powerful. Someone I would not want to get on the bad side of. I will not tell you anything else I know about him. But I can tell you more about the gauntlet.
Grumbluck will just,
Is that
he will
sufficient?
nod and say, if that is all you will tell me, I shall be grateful for it.
She nods and says, all right. My understanding is that it is an object imbued with the dark side. Of a symbiotic nature and will, over long periods of usage, merge with its host to the degree of being irremovable. In my understanding, this process takes days or even weeks, so it is not one that could be complete yet. Has to accept the user first. It is possible to, I believe you refer to it as cleansing it, purifying it. It because it is imbued with it, it can have it taken away. I don't know how you would do that, but you're the Jedi, not me. Now, as for your other question, I might know where he is going next. But needn't be in a rush, he ain't leaving yet. I don't think so, because he still has to contact me. There's something he wants on a junk planet called Jakku. He doesn't know that it's there. He hasn't messaged me yet. But he will. And I will tell him. And then I can message you. And know he's going there. Puts her head toward you as if that's the best you're gonna get.
Thank you. Your knowledge has been most helpful. If you ever need a favor, I will provide you.
She gets up and puts her credits in her pouch and just says, "Yeah, just get lost." That's her response to that, and she walks away.
And Talia looks to Grumblock and stands up from the table. So, Jakku and Bastion. We just really love planet hopping, don't we?
I am an explorer. I love planet hopping.
Well, we should probably get back to the others. We can do the planet hopping later.
And as you go off to be told by Saffron and Chance what happened with Sidani, we'll go now across the galaxy to another world. It's sprawling jungle-like planet where a silver city sits amidst the trees. A huge waterfall going down into one of the taller buildings, and we go inside the building. It's a well-kept man, fair skin, short dark hair, full beard, busy writing out something. Blue-skinned Twi'lek walks in with secretarial datapad, signs a few things on the datapad, and says, "Thank you, Adrena." And he kind of lifts his eyes to her chest and then her face and says, "I'll have more work for you to do later." She just nods and goes off with her datapad. The small holographic drone, currently off but moving, floats over toward the table. The activates, and a large hut figure resting on a very elaborate throne comes into view on the hologram and says, "Difficult but understandable, basic." "Maximus." "How are you?" "Day." "Voran, I was not expecting your contact." "Vivian was just here. She said she wished to speak with you, but I had to make a greeting known. I've had new visions." And you see his eyes widen and his arms kind of almost flail. "Soon, a great triumph will approach. The stars will align." Maximus, clearly having heard this line one too many times, just nods his head and just motions his hand quickly. "Yes, put Vivian on." Into view comes a woman with a revealing but functional, tight-fitting dress, long dark hair. Says, "I will be returning soon, sir. But I need to make a stop first. I have assurances of protection, please. Your bounty hunters failed on Rossoswai. There's no way that Chance won't know about this." He seems frustrated and starts pulling up some information. He says, yes, go. I will get you protection." "Thank you." Go to his intercom. "Drina, I will need you sooner than I anticipated." Off. And we return to Takadana. Rays of fading sunlight going through a window onto the bedroom where Sol and Iris are staying. Sheets tumbled, and Iris rolled in it, her hair out against a pillow, and so you would see her kind of fiddling around with her pistol a little bit. Seems more like cleaning it, checking it, making sure it's okay.
Soul just jokes. I was like, wow, is it bad enough you plan on shooting me?
She seems pretty happy with herself, and she just says, no, just making sure it looks its best.
Of course. Looks brilliant to me.
And she kind of tilts the sheet just barely covering her body. She kind of smirks and says, which Ed are you referring to?
Definitely wasn't looking at the pistol.
She sets it near what would be her strewn across top on one of the little side tables, and crosses her arms slightly, and as I must admit, I'm surprised.
In me being here, or me being here? And Soul sort of points around the room.
And she would move over to basically get on top of you and kiss you. After she does so, would whisper, what do you think?
There's obviously a dangerous attraction here that I cannot shake, but also don't want to.
You know, I last saw you in person. I never imagined we would ever meet like this.
A lot has happened, and I've learned a lot since then. Not taking people for granted is definitely one of them.
She would just kind of lean in. Kind of lay on you a little bit. You can tell she's between kind of the pheromones that Zeltrons give off and just her general attitude. You can probably interested in continuing your time together. You would eventually get a comm signal going off.
The galaxy interrupts us again. As all Soul says, while staring at the comm.
He will move enough away for you to get the comm, but also move her body in a way that'll that is kind of, I'd say, teasing you a bit. So
Soul just answers it while staring at her, like smiling, like, this better be good. The ship better be on fire.
You get beeps from R2 that start translating on the comm device itself, basically indicating that Ray's taken the X-wing and left. Obviously, since Iris doesn't understand R2 beeps and can't see the comm, she doesn't know what's being said on there.
Is there any way you can track it, Uncle?
He says that the transponder that connects it to the Jade Shadow was turned off.
Can you start sending description of the ships to any surrounding spaceports, and I'll be there as soon as I can.
Says he'll do so for any within the Jedi, kind of the Jedi system, the ones that would be considered like safe to send that information to.
Yeah.
As you turn off the comm, Iris looks disappointed.
It appears Rey has taken our secondary ship and left.
You see her kind of look a little surprised and puts a hand to her chest, almost mockingly, almost with a sour feeling to it, and says, "Not on my account, I hope."
I fear it was on mine pre-coming here.
Or Skywalker. She kind of pouts to you.
She had a disagreement with how I handled one of our enemies.
She just kind of leans back like, I don't know what to touch with that, so she just doesn't really. She does get off of you more or less, though. Like, she does move so you can get up.
Soul sort of returns, like, his attempt at doing her pouting back at her, like, would you be interested in doing me a favor? Pouty face.
She's waiting to hear what it is. She just crosses her arms.
And Soul sort of like narrows his eyebrows, getting sort of a little bit serious, and it involves Rey. And before you say anything, she doesn't know anything about her past, and I feel like it's not just for her, but for the galaxy at whole that I figure that out.
What do you want from me?
I can give you the information she's told me, and if you could pass that along to your boss or anyone that may be interested or may have information.
All right. For you, not her.
Thank you. I know it's a difficult thing to ask.
He just nods and says, seems urgent, so you should probably go.
I mean, this armor is new. It may take me about 10 to 15 minutes to get it back on.
She kind of rolls her shoulders back with a smile.
Soul just gonna like grab the blankets and just throw it like up in the air where it will fall on top of them.
All right, so Yeah, that take us back over to everybody else. So I'd say you're all at this point and at the lower level of the bottom level again of the main castle. You're all together, with the exception of Sol and Sidani. Sol being busy, Sidani being to go with Venata. Gone with her as well. Rest of you are together. Chance, Phoenix, Gam, Saphra, and Lux were all with you guys for a little bit, and then they did all go off at various points for various things. Talia, Lux did give you a calm, like a way to contact him before you left.
Good.
Then as for Darren, Grumblock, he'd be coming up to you.
Greetings.
Hey, I have to talk to some friends about a new job, get that new ship worked out and all that. But you see him holding out one of the data crystals from his little haul that he had, and is holding out to Grumblock and said, "It's been great hanging out with you and the others, and I need to go pick up Lucky. Thank you for saving us on Aethys."
It was simply what I had to do, my friend. If you are between jobs, perhaps you'd like to accompany us to Jakku or Bastion.
Junker Planet or Imperial world, no thanks. Guess I need a new ship. Got other stuff I gotta do. But well, and he looks around. Like, whenever I'm between jobs, you can find me here.
Until our paths cross again, friend.
So he would put the data crystal out into your hand to take it, and then he'd give you and the others a bit of a wave and gone off toward a group of kind of the buddies he was drinking and talking with earlier.
I will very carefully pocket the data crystal in my armor.
So we'll go now to our last off-world scene on the vast ocean world of Manan, deep under the sea with water everywhere. A white facility, glass windows. We go inside and we see the off-referenced man himself, Arcos Vane, his armor repaired, place made in his armor for the gauntlet to more successfully connect. See him speaking to a Selkath, the native species of Manan. Seems to have just released him from medical scanning. As he walks through this facility, he's passing by Imperials and Stormtroopers, all with the stripe marking that indicates his subfaction. As he approaches another chamber, he stops. As within there is a meditating Selkath. As soon as he enters, stops its meditation, stands. They turn their head. Are you here for her at last? They say to Arcos. And looking in the direction that the Selkath named Nodatai was staring off in, a cylinder filled with a Bacta-like material. In that cylinder is a woman, young-looking, thin, very agile, medium-long hair with tannish skin. And as the liquid begins to drain out of the tube, she seems to almost come alive within it. Tube unseals and the woman falls on the floor before Arcos, before springing up, almost like a marionette with strings, immediately up onto her toes and arms out and almost like a dancer. Very macabre, almost circus-like movements to her. Light giggling laughter as she approaches what appears to be kind of a dresser-like part of the wall. He begins to open it, and the garment she was wearing within the tank falls off of her as she's clearly changing into something else. Are you ready for me, Emperor Vane? She's kind of singing out from her changing. He doesn't say anything, and as soon as she's done and the dresser closes, she's there in a long red outfit dress, several points removed from her outfit to make it more agile. Two lightsaber hilts in her hand that she clips to her belt. As she kind of tiptoes over to him, she gives him a very firm kiss to his lips, which he seems to take very stoically, before kind of nodding to the door and saying, "We have opposition now." It's time. He just gives him a kind of devilish grin and continues sort of walking like a marionette puppet behind him as he leaves, the black cloak trailing on his red and black armor. As the sun begins setting on Takadana, we return. Soul, you've just left Iris on your way to join with the others to begin figuring out your next moves. plans for Bastion and the like. Having left Iris alone in her chambers, she has gotten up and started getting dressed once more, but as she does, she gets a comm call that she accesses just as soon as she's dressed enough to. Isn't not fully dressed though. She activates the comm. A darkly dressed moon man with multi-layered spectacle-like goggles cybernetically attached to the side of his head. Looks out and says, "Ah, my dear. Good, you are available." Yes. Oh, yes. What do you want, Rod? I was having a very good day. And I'm here to make it better with credits. You like those, right? The new Jedi artifact. Just one. The one for the collection. You know. What do you say? All right, all right. Do you want me to deliver the other thing you requested? Yes. It is time, I would say. All right. You see her pull out a case from beneath the bed and lifts it up and sets it down on it, opening it for a moment to check it, and see a gorgeously detailed lightsaber hilt within it. Yeah. Adjusted it and turned it over before closing and says, "All right. See you soon." Oh, and my dear, one last thing. I've heard rumors that you may know a Jedi, the one you worked with on Tatooine. And she kind of stops and says, "Yes, I have an awareness for Soul. Yes, well, this Skywalker, it is in our mutual friend's best interest that you get closer." Iris stifles a laugh. Think, might be of help to future endeavors. I'll be sure to keep that in mind, yeah. Closes the lightsaber case and begins to get finished getting dressed. As we go down to where everyone else is at, Soul arrives.
Well, hey, Soul. About time you showed up.
You know
We
how it is.
had an We had an enlightening talk with. I've completely blanked on her name.
Tanya.
But Danya. That's it.
Was the woman at the card table, correct?
Did you already forget?
I
was
think
confirm-
he was busy with something else.
I was confirming it was the same person.
She told us where we might find Vane. There is an artifact he seeks on the world of Jakku.
With him already having the gauntlet, we cannot let him get a second.
There is one small fault with this plan. We don't know when he will go for the artifact, or what the artifact is. Petunia was very reluctant to give us information.
Not much we can do then if we don't know when, where, on a whole planet, or what we're even looking for.
We must be prepared.
Well, we can't stay idle while waiting. Is there any other leads we can get to?
Venata secured us the diplomatic authorization for Bastion. Apparently something came up, so Donnie's going to meet us there.
We could speak with the Vault Keepers. They are the people who Vistania got the information from. They may know more that is not in the Jedi archives.
We could at least get an idea of what we're looking for. So, yes, we should see them before we leave. And then we can head to Bastion and take a detour if we hear anything about Jakku.
This seems acceptable. Perhaps we might also find out more about Vane from his Imperial Knight allies, comrades, others of the Order.
Yes, it'd be good to find out how this man was before his fall. In other news, Uncle informed me that Ray took the X-Wing from the ship and has left.
I'm sorry, she left?
She apparently went on board and just took the X-Wing and took off.
Did she give any
This
indication
is-
of where she was going?
That's perhaps more space than you should have allowed her.
Yes, and she apparently doesn't want to be found because she disabled any way of tracking her.
I'm sorry, Soul. If we can find her, we will. But if she left without wanting us to find her, I don't know how we'd start looking.
I just don't think I was ready to be a teacher. I don't know how else. If I left Revenant to be defenseless, then I would betray what we believe in. But then by helping him, I feel I betrayed Rey to lead her down the path that we're trying to prevent.
To save a life is never the wrong thing, Sol. I hope this is some solace.
He's right. You can't blame yourself. As it is, Rey is dealing with her own struggles, and you can only do the best that you can.
Well, part of her conflict is not knowing about her past, so I have people looking into that, so I'm hoping that information could help steer her away.
It's a start. She knows she has a home with us. Whenever she's ready, we can just hope we either find her first or she'll come back on her own.
One last thing, Tully, that we haven't mentioned is Revenant said in his vision that he saw her with the gauntlet that Arcos had, and she threatens the galaxy with it.
Talia just slowly nods. Vitania was mentioning that there's a possibility the gauntlet could be purified. I'll look into that.
We should prepare for all angles, just in case. So, Grumblock, these seekers of knowledge that we're to see, do you know anything else about them other than they're in the lower levels?
I confess I have not been to this world, or met these Vault Keepers. But trust me, they are my people.
I will follow your lead then. We should probably hurry this up though. If Tali, would you like to take the others, get the ship ready to head to Bastion, where we can leave as soon as we're done?
Of course.
Check in with Uncle and make sure that I told him to send out the description to all Jedi ports to make sure nothing's came back.
And she nods and turns. I'll make sure that he had it done. Don't take too long.
And as Sol and Grumblock get up to go check out the Vault Keepers, and the others get ready to go to the ship to get ready to depart from this place, that is where we will end today's episode of Destiny of the Force. So thank you everyone for joining us, and we will see you next time with more.